Okay, so now let's proceed to the second presenter, Eya Mebbeb from University of Worcester. So actually, she will present a paper entitled The Human Resource Management Challenge of Predicting Employee Turnover Using Machine Learning and System Dynamics. So for Eya, over to you.
Hello.
Yes, Eya?
Yes, I'm here. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it. Maybe you can just make it full mode.
Yes, just a minute. Okay, we're good?
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's start. So my topic, as Sandy said, it's about improving human resources management. It's about predicting employees' turnover using machine learning system dynamics, specifically causal inference. So thank you, Thomas, for the presentation. By the way, you really gave me a lot to think about. Thomas did mention how HR analytics can help improving how to say managing in a way. So and how can AI like help us in this regard? Let's say my topic is more about how we can do analytics specifically. And when I say AI, specifically machine learning, how can I use machine learning to improve decision making for the sake of HR managers? So basically, just a short introduction about myself. I'm a PhD student at the University of Worcester. I'm in my second year. I have my topic is the cross-disciplinary topic. It's between computing in regards to machine learning, deep learning, causal inference, and from an HR perspective, is about predicting the turnover rate, as I said. So I have two supervisors, Dr. Chris Bowers, which is the head of computing department, and Professor Lynn Nicole, she's an HR expert. So let's start. What's turnover? Turnover basically means that employee leaves the company permanently and ends the relationship with the organization. So scholars in this field correctly define it as a rotation of employee around the market, between firms, different jobs, occupations, and between the states of employment and unemployment. So basically, HR managers' jobs is all about maintaining a stable turnover and how to say, deciding how, in a way, to control it or to increase it or decrease it based on the current situation of the company. Okay, so what's machine learning? If we're going to say we wanted to predict the turnover using machine learning, basically machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that incorporates the principle of data mining to predict business and possible outcomes using historical data. It's basically about identifying different patterns in order to understand the future. Okay, here come our topic, our PhD. So let's say from an HR manager perspective, we found like when we asked several HR managers, none of them really used machine learning models, even though we have a lot of models that can predict accurately the turnover rate. So previous research basically focused on having different machine learning algorithms to predict the turnover rate in the most accurate way. And so far, they're not really commonly used by HR managers. And when we asked the question, they said basically, we have a model if we want to use it, and it can predict easily, let's say with a good accuracy, that the turnover, for example, can increase with 1 or 2% in the next 6 months. However, we didn't really know the reason behind this increase. So if we're going to go for prediction for individuals, somehow this prediction can help us to focus on one individual, but sometimes the real reason behind that increase in the turnover is not really about just individual leaving the companies. It could indicate much bigger problems like management conflicts, induction program really not being satisfying for new employees. So if the HR managers cannot really locate the source of the problem, they will be just focusing on fixing a problem individually, like by having more benefits, which will not really fix the general problem. And here we come to what we call the gap spotting. So basically now what we're trying to do in this PhD topic is to build a model based on data knowledge and HR knowledge as well. So what we're trying to do is to build a predictive model based on causal inference, which means we're trying to predict the effect rather than the outcome. So if we go farther to do that, we chose to include system dynamics or including to machine learning. So basically system dynamics is an approach that allows the creation of microworlds where space and time can be compressed and slow so you can experience the long-term side effects of your decisions. So basically machine learning, what it does is it tries to find patterns and correlations in order to predict based on that data. However, system dynamics, it's about causal feedbacks. It's about cause effect. And with including system dynamics and machine learning, we're going to try to have a logic of prediction that is based on cause and effect. In this regard, like I said before, this will help not just to predict that my turnover will be increasing, but somehow to locate the reasons behind that increase or decrease. So we have this research question that we come up to. So our first research question is, what are the quantifiable features can be identified by HR expert on line managers and from the literature as well that are considered practical cause effect or causal links to predict the turnover? What's the most effective combination of machine learning algorithm and causal modeling approach to build a predictive model based on real-world causality? How can this combined approach be used to evaluate the outcome of different decisions? So basically, to do so, we went through the research onion for future studies. So this research onion is mostly about going through different layers of philosophy, epistemology, to understand how to tackle the problem or the gap that we spotted. So basically here we are, let's say, in the philosophy of critical realism, since we are trying to capture causal effect from interviews, semi-structured interviews with HR experts and line managers. And we can go farther by having triangulation and have a survey with employees. Later, we're going to do a forecast. So by the end, we will be using data that fits the causal map that we come up with. And based on that, we will try to predict, let's say, the turnover, but not just predict, like I said, not just prediction. It's more about identifying your turnover will be, for example, 2% in 6 months. And this is why you had an increase with 0.5%. So basically, it's a mixed methods methodology, and it's based on qualitative, which is a semi-structured interviews with HR experts and line managers. And like I said, we can go for the employees as well. And it's quantitative as well by converting that causal map that we come up with and capture during the interviews and somehow define it, represent it in a way that the machine learning can understand the logic to predict based on the causal inference that we found or captured from the interviews. So here, like as a first step is about coming up with the causal map. The second step is about having a representation for machine learning for that causal map that can be fitted to the machine learning, so it will predict based on that specific logic. Just to, go farther in this step, machine learning is basically a black box. So when we say a machine learning algorithm, classification or regression, so basically it tries to just be based on data correlations and trying to find patterns and predict based on that. So what we're trying to do, even though correlation does not mean cause effect, it's somehow to not just keep it based on data correlation, it's to just keep the correlation that are deducted from cause effect. And based on that, it's like we will just keep the correlation that we know they are the cause effect links and predict based on that. So here, after having a representation that can help us to have that kind of, to translate the causal map that we come up with to prediction, we will definitely go to try machine learning to predict the employee turnover based on the map dynamic causality, like I said. So here it's like, if I go farther, it's more about evaluating the outcome of different scenarios, like different retention strategies, why you have that kind of turnover, how can I do it? And it will allow you to evaluate different scenarios in a way how to say it? Okay. So it will allow you to evaluate different scenarios in a way to maintain a stable turnover rate. So it's not about having an accurate prediction, it's more about having an accurate outcome of my own decision. If I do that, for example, if I improve my induction program, how will this impact on my turnover rate? Or if I, for example, add working hours for a new project, will this really affect my turnover in a really bad way that will make me take the wrong decision by accepting this project? So it's more about supporting leaders and HR managers to take the right to know the outcome of their decisions before taking any actions. So basically until now, like I said, we are at the phase of finding or capturing causal maps from different participants, basically HR experts and line managers. So far we were able to gather 118 causal facts, 55 factors that they said it will be having an impact on the turnover, or we can confirm that these factors have an impact on a turnover based on their experience. 16 external factors and 39 internal factors. So when I say external, like for example, could be the pandemic. None of us really expected the pandemic coming. However, it did have a great impact on the turnover rate worldwide. And when I say internal facts, it's more about HR metrics like demographics data, the ones that the HR managers usually have or in their or archive, let's say, in their data, in their, let's say, structure. So this is just, I don't want to shock you. This is just the map that we come up with. So we're still working on it and keep updating the more we go further with the interviews. And the next step will be how to have a graph representation for this map so we can fed to the machine learning to predict based on the logic that we have. And again, I say the target for this topic is not just about having an accurate outcome prediction. So it's more about having an accurate effect prediction. So for example, let's say I might predict that the turnover rate might be 2% or 3%, let's say 3% in the next year, and that it might change from 2021 to 2022 by 0.05%. So even if the turnover really in reality wasn't 3%, but it did change the way that we said it will change, then we can say that we got to the target that we wanted. These are a couple of questions that we're still around and we're still trying to tackle. So the first one is just more having about your opinion about capturing the cause effect. Do you think semi-structured interviews are enough beside the previous research? Will it be more beneficial for managers and leaders to have a model predicting based on treatment, which means the causal impact accuracy, rather than the outcome accuracy, to evaluate different scenarios and to know the outcome of their decisions before taking any big actions? Is it better to aim for a generalization or for a specific use case? Because when we say cause effect, somehow this will help machine learning algorithms to be based on facts, not just on data, and this will help to generalize the model with just some adjustments in regard to the data that were fed to the model. And last, which is something we're still looking how to do it, is how to confirm the effectiveness of our approach from a professional perspective. So let's say we have this model and that can help leaders and managers to take the right decision. However, how to make sure that the model that we come up with is really beneficial to them and it's helping taking the right decision in time. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Eya. I think that's very a wonderful presentation. So I think I have a question to you, and then probably I'm going to provide the other participant if they have any question or opinions. So I'm really curious about the dark sides of employee analytics. So because the question is not, I'm not really sure, but I think the question is not whether employee analytics will monitor, determine, and optimize an increasing portion of our working environment in the future. Rather, it is how we can reap the positive rewards this process offers while respecting the complexity of human condition. So do you have any thought about it, Eya? Please.
If I got the question in the right way, it's more about how to use it more. If you can go farther. So basically what here, it's like, for me, I'm against, saying like the machine will definitely replace human being, even though I came from a background in AI, but I don't believe ever that the machine will ever replace human being. It's more about supporting, let's say, leaders. In my specific topic, it's HR leaders to take the right decision, to locate the source of the problem. So it's more like an easier way for you to locate the problem with the company. And this will help you to fix the source of the problem. Like I said before, when we had like interviews with HR experts, most of them, let's say, they don't use the AI models, they don't use machine learning because they said, okay, we have an accurate prediction, but we don't know really the source, why I have an accurate prediction, but I want to know the underneath reason behind it. So it's more of supporting them in a way to improve decision-making for the long-term interest of the company by taking into consideration different important factors that they might think it's not really affecting their decision. However, in the long term, it's really affecting their decision. Did I answer your question?
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Eya. So anyone has a question or maybe opinions? Okay, so I think, while waiting others, a concrete understanding of various aspects of AI and machine learnings and then HRM has been presented by you, and which can enable practitioners, to develop strategic vision and formulate more effective strategies for deployment of the impact of it.
Sorry, can you repeat again? Just my Wi-Fi is not really good.
Okay, so actually, which can enable practitioners, because I think I saw on your presentation that need feedback discussion related to the practitioner perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, so to develop a strategic vision and formulate more effective strategies for deployment of this impact.
So I think which effect? Okay, it's more of the causal impact that we're trying to capture from the interviews, and then later we're trying to machine learning to be based on it. It's more of to, like I said before, to uncover the factors that we really underestimate in a way, and to make you focus on the group, on the company itself, the organization interests. So somehow, like I said, if you have a regular machine learning model that would predict, predict the turnover rate, even individually, it will predict like these group of people might be leaving in 6 months, for example. You will try to focus on maintaining this group of people. You will try to, for example, increase their benefits, their salary. This is mostly what we get from HR experts. I said we just focus individually. However, the turnover rate is not really stable in this way because, okay, you focus on that group, but you might be missing really the real reason behind it. So, which could be, for example, the adding of working hours did really affect the company in a bad way, and somehow that new project that you think will be for the benefit of the company is really affecting the company in a way that's really high, increase in the turnover rate in a really bad way that can affect the future of the company. So somehow the cause effect will help to know that the project that you thought will be beneficial highlighted that it's not, because basically you're losing resources here. You're losing, and let me say again, human resources is the health of the company. So if you have bad turnover rate, it means that the organization is going through a crisis, which means employees are losing their loyalty in regards to the organization, to the company. And somehow, if you don't really identify that, that reason is behind this increase, you will fix, let's say, you will think that you find a solution by focusing on individuals. However, this real problem is still there. It's not fixed yet. So the cause effect will help you to fix the source of the problem, taking into consideration several factors that you did not really even think about, let's say, in a way.
Thank you, Eya. So I think we have a question or maybe opinions. Thomas, you're raising your hand, please. Offer to you.
Thank you very much. I was just wondering, what happened if the AI actually provide you the suggestion or as a way to support the leader or the manager that the retention rate is low, and what next then? What next? Like the retention is low. What can we do about it? What is the action plan the AI could help leader?
Okay. So based on the model that we're trying to come up with, if you have like a really high, when we say retention is low, which means turnover is high, people are leaving the company in a high way. So this means that you have a problem basically with your organization. So unless if you know the reasons behind it. So it could be that at the current situation, you have a lot of retirements. So in this case, there is not really an internal factor like impacting, let's say, the turnover rate to be high. It's like, how do I say it? Understanding the reason will help you to analyze the turnover rate in a more generalistic way for the sake of the organization, rather just for the sake of each individual employee. So if you said we have high turnover, however, in this period we have a lot of retirements, this does not really impact that we have a problem with the company. It's regular to have a high turnover. However, if you have high turnover and you feel like, for example, a lot of youngest are leaving, the model can highlight the induction program is not satisfying for you. Because if we don't know the reason why, you will go to the employees and will to work individually on each employee, trying to have like motivate them in a way and try to work on them for way individually by increasing the salaries, the benefits, or by having training and development for them. However, if you don't know that the induction program is the source of the problem, you will keep losing employees and it will make you even lose more money. So it's about having the most optimized solution that will satisfy individuals and help to and work for the sake of organization in general. Because cause effect, like I said, it's about a map of factors that are linked together. So if one variable and one factor is going to move, the others are going to move as well. So if you just focus on one factor, which is the individual, you will lose the highlight of the other factors. So basically the model we're trying to come up with is to show you the outcome of your decision, taking into consideration several factors that we know are the cause and are cause and effect linked to the turnover prediction.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Thomas, for your question. So anyone, I think, it's very interesting discussion. So I just really want to know more. Maybe you can elaborate more related to how will the system dynamics and machine learning impact the future of HR analytics? Okay,
so causal inference, let's say, it's mostly when we have been going through causal inference and when we ask HR experts why they don't use the models, like I said before, because they just have accurate, let's say they have predictions, however, they don't really understand what's going on in it. Machine learning, like I said before, it's a black box. You gave it data, you feed it data, and somehow tries to find the patterns just based on data. So even if you're going to feed it really fictive data and it's going to find the correlation between that fictive data and the prediction, it will be based on it. So what we're trying to do with causal inference, basically, it's just to keep the good correlation, the ones that we know are confirmed are cause effect. So this causal inference, it has been used before, but mostly in biology, in medicine, and in really, in confirmed sciences. However, in econometrics, it's still like it's used and it's progressing. However, the problem with it, it's like the confirmation, like I said, the efficiency of the cause effect that we come up with. Because, like I said, in biology, if you're going to say, okay, this bacteria, if you move this factor, it will increase by the size of this bacteria will increase by 2%. But then through an experiment, you can really confirm that. However, if we're going to tell you that the turnover rate might be increasing by 0.5% if you improved, for example, the extension program, we're going to really have to let the model live in the real life and have a long-term experiment to confirm that. And we might be even not able to confirm that. So system dynamics is going to help, like I said, to uncover the most important factors causing your turnover, and it might help you to optimize your decision making. And another thing, from a technical perspective, causal inference helps to generalize the model. So like I said, machine learning is data-based. So however, if we base our model on knowledge and data, this will make the model more generalized for the HR sector. So by having like facts, I know the reasons and I know the facts that it has been confirmed by HR experts, this will have to generalize the model regardless of the field of the company.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I think the time is up. So perfect timing. Thank you so much, Eya, for your presentation. It is very wonderful research. You are, I think, on the second stage of research, and good luck with your research.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All the
Sandy.
best. Thank you. Okay.